Hello?
I'm no man, I'm a man. If you seen this shit.
Broadcasting live from the command center located in Jacksonville, Florida. That's all you guys need to know. It's just me for right now, a little early, but I wanted to let you guys know, for those who are already here, let me go ahead and prep this show for you today. It's going to be awesome. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to predict it is going to be awesome. Okay. So let me get this out of here. Give me a second. Take me forever to do things. You know how it is. Rob will be here on time, and we'll just start the show when he gets here. But while we're waiting, and I have like a bunch of people in here, man, I still got this thing up. Let me get it out of here. Okay, how about that? No, that don't take care of it. How about? Oh, I know. It's that. That's better. Okay. So like, hey, Mikey, turn that light off right there for me, please. I'm blinded. And then that other light behind you. Sorry, folks. This is what happens when you start early and you're not 100% ready. Holy smokes. Look at all the people in here. Look, we got big news. One more second. Mikey, turn off that light over there too, buddy. Okay. Thank you. All right. So, wow. Where do I start? Okay. The Turkey UFO. What I'm going to do this evening is that I'm going to have you guys be the grand jury on this, okay? I'm going to present this as a prosecutor for a case. I investigate. I'm an investigator prosecutor, and I'm going to spill out my case. And what you guys are going to do is that you guys are going to let me know what you think, okay? So when you see the evidence this evening of this obvious flying saucer, and then it's the Turkey UFO. I lined it up. I'm going to present my case to you guys, right? So, all right, we got that going on. We also have Lou is in the news. We might as well have a segment called and have Lou, what's going on with Lou today or something. But yeah, Lou's in the news today, and Rob Heatherly is reading up on it real quick before he comes over. While we're waiting, I have a captured audience here. We're going to talk about some pictures, if you don't mind. Hey, talk about the stuff I like talking about, right? So let me go over some pictures that I think are really awesome. I'm going to be going back to Disney in another week and a half or so, and I really love doing photography there. Let me show you some photos I did. Yeah, I think I might have showed this. I'm not sure. But there it is again. That's in Pangea or what she said, Pandora. And then here's another image from a walk area. Just a beautiful, beautiful area. It looks great when there's black lighting on that specialized paint or whatever they use, right? All right. And here's another couple of them here. This one here is as you're going in. This thing actually spits at you as you walk by it. This is one of my favorite photos of the area. You got a waterfall and you got all this going on. Yeah, that's pretty badass. Okay. What is this thing? Oh, they got butterflies there at Disney. Let me show you some good photos. I love going there in the springtime. They got a butterfly exhibit thing. And while I was there, thank goodness I had my cell phone because this happened. Bam. So I took my cell phone, was taking a picture of my camera. All right. Oh, let's go ahead and get down with some good stuff. Oh, here you go. So I love taking pictures of the moon. that picture was probably taken with the Nikon P1000 that I once had. I bought it used, and I really missed it. I mean, you can just zoom in. Just go to YouTube after the show, type in Nikon P1000. It's got the equivalent of 30,000 millimeter lens. It's like you can see the man on the moon with that thing. It's amazing. So that'll be here this week. I ordered it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, this is one of my favorite drone shots I took. I actually videoed this, and the video is a lot better than this photo. So yeah, a steam-powered locomotive. That was taken with the Mavic 1 Pro, and there's been a couple of Mavics since then. I got some other shots. This is the artsy-fartsy part of me. I took the skyline of Jacksonville, and then I took the water and basically erased it, and then took the image and duplicated it, reversed it, and flipped it, and that's what you get. And then, see if I can find it. Let's see, is it up here? Is it up here? Dang, not upload yet. That's okay. I got a better picture of the skyline. It's so good, Vance. I had a doctor that I used to go to, and he wanted that image. I had it on a metal print, and it's in his lobby right now. It's the only image I've ever sold, because that's not what motivates me is selling it. Okay, here's one of my favorite F-22 shots. F-22 Raptor. Here we go. Oh man, we got like 20 people almost in here. All right, that's it. That is, I love it. I just love it. You can see the heat coming off the back of those engines. In fact, here the next picture here, the heat is so it's so hot that it distorts the whole Raptor. So the whole Raptor is there's not a clear shot to the Raptor. There's this heat wave in the way. So that's what this looks like. Here's another one of the Raptor. It's one of my favorites. See if there's any more good ones here. I love the P-51. Bam. Love the P-51. All right, my puppy pictures didn't load up. That might be a good thing today. I'll be here talking about it all day. Look at there. Time's flying by. Rob will be here any moment. And then we'll just start the show. Like this pre-show wasn't even here. The Geico fly, I don't know what their name was. They were sponsored by Geico. And it was last year that the number 3 plane, number 3, Sanford, I saw them. Was that in Sanford? Yeah, last time I saw them, they were in Sanford at the air show. And the number 3 plane crashed. So I think they just canceled until they may be flying now. I don't know. But this is one of their best shots that I took. Let's see. Here's one. Always love the A-10. Yep, A-10 is one of my favorite aircraft as well. And I love taking pictures of kitty cats. Here's a Jacksonville Zoo. What's so neat about this image is that because I have a closed aperture, the fence that's between me and the cat is disappears. So that's a little trick you can use. And if anyone's been to Jacksonville, and if they've ever been to Clark's Seafood or Fish Camp, it's a popular site here. They got a bunch of taxidermy animals, everything. Like everything in the zoo, just something drops dead at the zoo. It seems as if they just get it stuffed and it goes up in Clark's fish camp. But this is off their dock. And let's see. Now, Jacksonville Air Show is coming up. Naval Air Station, Jacksonville. Okay, so there's a special spot that I like sitting because you're able to see down this like clear area and you can see the skyline. Everywhere else you can't see it. So this is one of my favorite shots, and you get a better skyline in the back like that. I think I got a couple of Navy pictures in here. All right, here's a picture of me and back in 1990, maybe 5. This is back when I was wearing dungarees, the utilities. They were dungarees, the same uniform the sailors wore in World War II era, and Vietnam and Korea. Here it is. This is me with a picture with me and my daughter, and she's called the catch of the day. So yeah, yes, I was actually that young once and skinny, size 32 waist. And that's me. I was a petty officer 3rd class, and this is me as a petty officer 1st class in the Middle East, a little island off the coast of Saudi Arabia called Bahrain. I was at the airport doing security, and this is me there. I've got more, but I think that might do it. Oh, here's one taken with a GoPro, one of my favorites of a GoPro. So bam. All right, let's see. Oh, here's another good picture of the butterfly on my camera. Look, we've got almost 20 people in here waiting for Rob to show up. It didn't load up, Shelly. And this is Sunday morning, one of the Sunday mornings at Kirby Family Farm during one of their 6-gun territory Wild West weekend and reunions. And I just love going there and taking pictures. Here's one of the train robbers before the show. In fact, I think this is one of the images I took. I actually made a logo out of the guy. All right, so I'm telling you guys today, I think what I got is good stuff. Like I wouldn't show you something that I wasn't sure of. I'm going to present my evidence to you guys, and you guys are going to tell me if you would convict, basically with the evidence that I'm providing. Make a decision, whether yes or no. Did I make my case for the Turkey UFO footage that I'm about to show you? All right, so stand by. Mr. Mann will coming in here in a second. Let me put everything back on hold. So go get y'all something to eat. 1 minute.
You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job.
Hey, Martinez.
You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job because you are detaining me for nothing. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your
K.O.B.
You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job. Get this dance. You about to lose your job.
Hey, Martinez. You see the boy?
Is this shit worth you losing your job? Cause you bought to. Cause you ain't got no reason.
Broadcasting live from the command center located in Jacksonville, Florida, this is Military Witnesses to UAP. I am your host, Shannon Scott. And backed by popular demand, located deep in the Missouri woods, my right-hand man, Rob Heatherly. We both have assumed the duties and responsibilities of continuing the conversation. So, buckle up, hold my beer, hang on, and let's get started with today's briefings. Hey, dude, how you doing? Can you hear me?
All right, live from Memorex.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Hold on. I know you're typing to me. Now, can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh,
sir.
shoot. Can you hear me? No? Stand by.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can? All right. Let me turn this off. Maybe that'll help. Let me do a sound check here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Come on! Okay, that sounds better. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Dude. I mean, as if last night wasn't enough. I was planning on going to bed, getting up early, working out. Man, Rob sent me a link yesterday, folks, and it got me so excited. And I thought I was going to be lead all night story today. But what I discovered that about the Turkey UFO thing took, it jumped right up there on top.
Took
What I've already told the audience. What's that?
I said it took precedence.
It did. That's the word I was looking for. And we got Lou in the news. And what I told the audience during the pre-show, and I'll tell the audience now because we've got more people now in the chat room than we did earlier. Because they came over.
I'm trying to get the chat loaded, so.
Yes, so
yeah,
while
stand by because I can't get it to load yet.
Okay. Well, everyone's still getting their seats and getting settled in for the presentation that I'm about to give this evening. Make sure you get your popcorn, your drink. Man. Dang, man. So what I told the audience was I'm going to play the role of a prosecutor, an investigator prosecutor, and they're going to be the grand jury. And I'm going to bring forth my evidence. And all they have to do is look at the evidence that I'm about to provide today and come to the conclusion, yes or no, the facts of the matter, and I'm going to present my case, and I'm hoping that they would they lean toward a yes. They communicate yes. You have enough evidence to go
Yeah.
forward. So that's what we'll do today. We're going to have everyone's going to be seated into the grand jury room, and I'm going to present my case, folks. And I cannot wait
See, we can indict
to
these.
do that. Leroy and his crew.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. See if we can get an indictment on them.
Yep. So what have you been doing today, Rob?
Just a lot of work around the place, communicating with some good friends, trying to put out some fires, come up with some ideas, and reading through the article that Lou put out through Liberation Times with Chris Sharp. Excellent guys, obviously. Some excellent ideas that have been they've been involved for a little while now, where people tried to make their own discussion or definition of what Lou meant by burning down ufology, but we can step into that when we can talk more on that in depth in a little bit. We want to get things rolling first, and I want to get the chat up where I can see it. And stand by, I'm almost there.
Someone even said, Raz says Leroy is about to lose his junk. I forget Leroy never had junk. Let me bring that. That's funny, Raz. All right, yes. We got RNJH here. Oh my God, Tim's here. UFO man.
Yeah.
What an honor. Thank you very much. Yeah, we were waiting for Rob. We just came over and we were, I just, I'm like a kid and just wanted to show off some of the work I've done. And so I was like, you know what? Let me do that early. So when people show up, my God, we got 30 people already in here, Rob. How do we remain so humble?
Yeah, we're rocking it.
So, yeah, I'd rather talk about it early. I may be so tired by the end of this that I'm out. I'll probably just go to bed. I got a bunch of medical appointments tomorrow. All right, so let's see. Arlene says, "Hi, y'all. Be back in 30 minutes," and that was yes. Arlene's back. Okay, and then we got Mark here. Noobs knows. I got bad vision too here. I got to bring the screen quicker to my face here. Here we go. Hey, Mikey, give me that pillow right there, buddy. Thank you, bud. You are so
had this up running already.
Yeah, I know. I'm not ready. I've been trying to put my evidence. Set my evidence up for my case here that I'm about to present. I got that all ready to show. Let's see who else is here. We got Michael here. I was echoing. RNJ, you're very welcome. I don't know if let me know if the echo's still going on. Yep, no echo. Some people said they can't hear it. My bad. Sorry, I had stream open. That's something I do. Okay. Hey, thank you very much on the pictures. Yeah. Shannon, if you're so good at photography, how can we trust you with your evidence? Very good question. Very good question. Because I tell you what, I like to do like a PowerPoint presentation on how I can figure out what things are a little bit. In fact, yeah, and I can make things look fake anyways. But the thing is, Rob and I just recently found out that to get a good, clear, sharp, the best image you can of a UFO, guess what? The image is what, Rob?
What's that?
Remember what the edges of the aircraft,
Finally
the
got the
aircraft
chat.
look like?
Yeah, it ionizes the air around it. It has its own. It's got its own local. It's gravitational lensing. I'm dialing it down. Put it in layman's terms. It is the skin of it is a superconductor, and it is ionizing the gases in the atmosphere. It has its own local environment, so it is not part of ours. It is just passing through it like a neutrino would. So yeah, figure that one out, folks. That's the gist of it. So, hey, I can see the chat now. So hello, everybody.
You see, in that case, I'm bailing out of the chat. So I'll be over here doing this, not presenting my case. So I tell you what, if everyone's ready, I'll go ahead. Everyone sit down, be quiet. Tell the kids to go to bed and shut up. Just shut up, Jimmy. Okay? Because you need to hear the case that I'm about to give you. Okay. Here we go. Everyone's seated. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'll be presenting a case about a Turkey UFO that has just been recently photographed, videoed. I don't have a date. I have a location. It's in South America. And it's during daytime. And today I'm going to be showing you some video. I'm going to be showing you some pictures. And the conclusion that I'm wanting you guys to come to is that what we are seeing in these daytime photos is the 2009 Turkey UFO. So that's my opening argument, and I'm about to present the evidence now. You can stop me anytime, Rob. And,
Yeah,
so
I'm just catching up, I'm reading through the chat, trying to catch up with everybody. Got an unidentified S4 here too as well. Welcome, Raz, Arlene, Don't Knows, and everybody else that I can barely read their names. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have you guys. Rob, we are pushing 50 people, dude.
Awesome.
Holy smokes. All right.
I'm betting they want to hear about the article.
Rob, take the article away. Let's hear it.
Well, it's been a long time coming. I've been saying for a while now. Well, let's start out from the start. Lou said he wanted a while back to burn down ufology. We've had 75 years of the government putting disinformation out. So when honest people did get accurate information, they were discredited and cut off at the pass. The government, by design, was obfuscating the conversation. So there was so much good data that was buried in the bad data. It's so hard to parse out which is which. And we didn't have any factual evidence. And officially by our government, there was no UFO program when they closed down Blue Book in 1969. They closed it by name, went underground with it with other programs, and they never really stopped and kept those in these dark silos until what I like to call modern, comparing it to classical physics and modern physics is in 1905. Prior to that, it was classical physics, and with Einstein's relativity, it began the era of modern physics. And so the way I see it is the 2017 December 16th New York Times article of Glowing Auras and Black Budgets. Leslie Keene, they laid down the first factual data from our government since the Condon Report, I believe, on the topic of UFOs, that the United States does indeed still have UFO programs. And there is something there on UFO discussions. And they've been obfuscating the topic and trying to still discredit that it didn't exist. And thanks to some very creative thinking that was legal, because they did want to call them drones and through the government, through loopholes, they were able to get the videos officially acknowledged by the U.S. government, the three that broke through the barrier, in other words, finally allowed evidence to come forward from the military that started a whole new era of laying out facts to prove the case and start a whole new era of evidence that can be brought forward. I know they reached back in the June 25th report from last year to the 144 cases. They went back to the Nimitz, but the 2004 Nimitz had such good information from multiple data sets and corroborating evidence that was an overwhelming case that you really couldn't leave out of the investigation contemporary now, because it's one of the best examples, like the one that was in the Condon report, the only one in the Condon report that they felt was not human, that met the burden of proof. Well, now we've got modern burdens of proof that are met, and Lou wants to start with those cases that haven't been tainted, and he wants to retool the community to where we have civil discord. If we can have debate, and we want skeptics, and we want people to not take other people's word for it. In the ancient history community, with us being called alternative, we have to prove everything we say. We have to overly prove it, because what we were saying is so controversial. People, they were constantly demanding, show me the facts on it. I believe it. So we would not say anything if we couldn't prove it and provide a link to it. So that was just the way we conduct things on alternative ancient history. We provide facts, and if it's just opinion, we state the difference, and we're respectful. People can completely object and disagree, but as long as they're respectful, it's allowed. And that's what Lou was talking about, is you can have public discord, you can have disagreements, and completely disagree with the topic and the subject matter, but be respectful doing it. If you're going to make an accusation to somebody, as a statement of fact, prove it, bring it out, show your work. You can't just say Lou's a liar and not give any supporting evidence. And yeah, you could, some are trying to say that, well, that Lou didn't officially, the ATIP didn't exist, he didn't have an official position. You've got to look at the chain of custody of the evidence in sequential order on that too. Like Green Street is trying to stay with the 2019, where they've proven that Susan Go lied to the American public by publishing what she did twice now. That's on the record. That's legally proven that she's lied. Not Lou. Lou has a lot of people corroborating him, and they all still have their security clearances. So I dare say that they're not lying, because as much as the DOD wants to pull his security clearance, if he misstated anything, including his IG complaint, if he misspoke on any of that or put in information that was not factual, that couldn't be substantiated, he would probably be prosecuted, as much as they want to pull his clearance and shut him up. So he has to be factually correct on everything he says. That's a given. So he wants that to reflect in ufology. Too many people have been in this before 2017, like Greer, that were able to spin whatever yarns they want. They build up this Gaia platform that's making millions and millions of dollars with all these fanciful, they just make shit up. I mean, basically, to put it bluntly, where they can publish anything they want. You know, they got Flat Earth going on there. They've got Mud Fossil University, where these two guys are baking giant clay hearts in the oven and saying that they're petrified giant dinosaurs, and all the mountains and stuff are just dead dragons. And this stuff sells. I mean, they've got a typical video like that would have 600,000 views. I mean, it's ridiculous. Yeah. And they don't, there's no burden of proof. There's no fact checkers. There's no quality control, nothing. It's just the Wild West. And the problem is that fundamentally they've had looted all these podcasts and things to bring public awareness, but it was also to get the awareness of the government on board, to let, because prior to 2017, Congress didn't even know that UFOs were not human. They were lied to. They're pissed, but they need accurate information. They need to know what the actual public is thinking. what the consensus is. And they don't need any more of the charlatan stuff of coming out and, trying to say that we've got 155 different species and races that we're in a galactic federation with. That may be true, but do we have any facts of it yet that we can show? No, we don't. And we need to stick with what we can prove. It's one thing to have an opinion and give that opinion as an opinion, but don't state it as a fact. And that's the problem. Too many people and too many channels are stating things as a fact, and there's no burden of proof to it. And the government is looking at these things, and the legitimate people like Luke are trying to establish factual data to get them on board. But then there are people that are spinning such wild tales with no proof. They're like, I don't want any part of this. And then when they see all the drama that goes on, when they should be having discussions about the data and the facts and talking about theories and possibilities behind all this, focus on the subject matter, not the people, and put that aside. We can't have all these competing egos that are trying to sell this and they're trying to put a meter on it and sell disclosure. Doing these guys, they get their expenses paid for, just like, Green Street was railing on Christopher Mellon today about going to Italy for a conference. It's like $1,400 a chair, but he's not selling tickets to that. He's just going to be one of their guest speakers. They're paying for his travel expenses, nothing else. He won't profit off of this, just like Lou doesn't profit off of it. So yeah, they want to retool it and get all this, get all the bullshit out of it. We need to be professional about it, and we want the government to take it seriously and give us accurate information, and for them to investigate this with the whole of government and the DOD. We have to prove that it's something that needs to be taken seriously, and that we can be responsible adults to receive that information and handle it right accordingly. Because right now it's just a soap opera. Why would they want to engage? And we're muddying the waters in the conversation with distractions of ego competitions and trying to sell it, because a lot of these people, and I'm not knocking anybody for making money off this, more power to them if they can, but they need to not do it at the expense of stepping on somebody else's back to get there. I believe in laissez-faire, free market economy, but don't try and crush other people to do it. State your case, and if your content's good, let it stand for itself. Don't try and tear someone else down to pull yourself up. So
well said, Rob. Is that all's in the news? Yeah. Right now, we're just going to put out stuff with Lou and this thing here, and the rest of the information we'll just do it another day, because the importance of today, I think, is important. All right. So, well, we got a lot of people in the comments section. Let's see if there's anything here worth mentioning. Just a reminder, just like Raz here, if you have a question or a comment that's worth us reading, for sure, put it in caps, because we really do want to read them. It's just that we're blind. Okay. So
yeah, I have trouble a lot, and they know I've got eye problems.
Yeah.
Arlene was saying she hopes the pressure that Luke can resist the pressure, not become just another victim of corrupt system. He gave his career up for this. There are some that are railing at him, saying, "Oh, they're calling him a hero for leaving the Pentagon for a big cush job in Hollywood." No, it really wasn't like that. He didn't
like being there.
He was going to leave anyway, because it was the right thing to do, because it was the only legal. He wouldn't be violating his NDA and enlistment by not violating the chain of command. That's not in his ethos. He's a man of character. He's not going to compromise that for anything or anybody. And him and his family have paid a very heavy price for that since then. Yeah, he did go on 2 seasons of with Tom DeLonge on TTSA. He didn't have any controlling. He had no control of the monies, the handling of it, the stock, nothing. He was an employee. He wasn't part of the board or the executives. So whatever they did with that part of it, which I've seen other people accuse him of as well, he's not responsible for. That is not his part. And him and Christopher Mellon did that because they needed to get awareness out. That's why he started doing the social media podcast, because mainstream media wouldn't take him seriously enough. So he needed to build credibility with the community that he thought would embrace him. Instead, they slung mud at him. And with the government that he's trying to get their attention that, hey, this is real and it needs to be addressed and it's escalating. We got to figure this out. But instead, we've got people that are trying to silence him. Some because they've controlled this narrative for so long, they feel that their income and their reputations are being threatened. Well, they can grow and evolve. They can be part of this. You know, if, you know, I would dare say that, you know, anybody that, those that have gone hard against Lou, if they want to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem, more power to you, man. You know, get on board. You know, let's go with the facts. Let's leave the opinions out. You know, if you're not in it for the drama and the money, and you're truly in it for the disclosure and the people, prove it. Put up or shut up. You know, like we said, if we get over 1,000, if we make any money at all, it's going straight to charity. We're not going to take a penny for this ever, because we believe in what we're doing. We're trying to bring awareness and help disclosure move forward, where our government would tell us the truth on this, because it's important to all people, not just the ones that we agree with, but all U.S. citizens and the world citizens. We should have been talking about this as a global civilization 75 years ago. But here we are. It was still being buried. And if it weren't for Lou being the first guy to stand up and be willing to drop his brass and say, you know, and lose his rank and his job, if he was going to go along to get along, none of this would be being discussed today still. It would still be hidden behind these black silos, and we would be stuck with Stephen Greer, with the imminent alien invasion coming, with the Einstein secretary, you know, leading the banner on Gaia. You know, it would just be still National Enquirer fodder, and we can't go back to that, folks. It's just, we need intelligent, factual conversation to be brought forward on this. You know, rational minds, calm minds, and egos need to be checked at the door. And I am not claiming to be perfect by any means. You know, I'm a work in progress. I constantly try to do better. I know my shortcomings, and I get told a lot of my shortcomings, and I take it to heart. You know, I listen to feedback, whether it's positive or negative. I do listen. I'm trying to do the best I can with what I have, but at least I'm doing it out of compassion for my fellow man, and because I think it's the honest and right thing to do. So that's what motivates me. I'm trying to help out the community and be a team player, not an individual that's in competition to sell a product. And you know, I appreciate what Greenwald did or does with FOIA. Hats off to the guy. That is a tremendous accomplishment that he's done in that respect. But you know, I still contend he's more of a librarian than he is a you know, critical thinker on the topic, which is okay. But don't, you know, stay in the lane you're good at. Don't try and step into something you're not and make a complete fool of yourself. Because, you know, we all know our strengths and weaknesses, and not try and cover all the bases. We don't need to compete with everybody in the field. You know, we need to know our niches. And I think as a community, we can come together with each person's unique strengths and weaknesses and try and all be part of the solution instead of part of the problem. I mean, you know, I'll say it, you know, Gufon says that ufology is his. He was one of the first shock docs to be on the radio talking about this 17, 18 years ago. If he's truly in this for the people and the topic, then he needs to follow the evidence, not be trying to step up on other people to get where he's at or to stay where he thinks, you know, that it's his narrative. And I'm not picking on him. I think, you know, he could bring legitimate discussion back to the topic if he chose to. A lot of people listen to him. A lot of people respect him. You know, he's earned that, but he's going to find out soon. You know, we all are, that this narrative that Lou's putting out, he's telling the truth. And when he
Yeah,
does,
Rob,
what
go
position
ahead.
are they going to be left in?
Rob, I'm thinking, I've never listened to that channel, especially after finding out what they did to Lou, and it's like, why would I even want to go there?
Yeah.
So can I just throw something out there and see if I'm right? Is it
Sure.
kind of like back in the day when these, I guess they would be called producers or managers of radio stations, would put probably a lot of pressure on their DJs and to become like shock jocks in order
Yeah.
to get more listeners? Is that what's
Mhm.
going on with this dude?
I think so. And
Okay.
I think also that he feels like he's put so much time into it and he's not getting the recognition that he deserves. And he's upset about it. If your life's work is wrapped up in one singular part aspect that you're doing, and
Yeah.
you feel like you're not getting the recognition, at some point you're going to
Yeah.
get a little bitter. And that's normal human nature. But when you recognize it, if you have, you should be able, if you want to improve and step up, internalize it, adjust, and move forward. Overcome and adapt. Be relevant to the discussion. If you want to be a shock doc, fine, stay with it. That's the entertainment side. That's why Lou and them left TTSA. They wanted to go more toward the entertainment side, and that's fine. But it wasn't their vision. They want to be factual, pragmatic, and have honest discourse and let facts lead where they may, and not draw preconceived conclusions when we don't have the evidence yet to make a conclusion. So let's stay, like Gary Nolan said, let's focus on just the data and the facts and see where they lead us, and leave the conclusion out of it for now, because we don't have one yet. There's nothing to prove a conclusion. He hasn't seen any bodies, no craft to convince him this is not human. So he's remaining skeptical until he does. That is what a scientist should do. And we don't have to be scientists to follow that lead. And that's what Lou has been trying to do as well. And they just kicked sand in his face for it. And Christopher Mellon was getting reamed out by Green Street on Twitter, but Green Street got spanked for it. But that's just par for the course. These guys are trying to bring actual factual disclosure and provide the community with facts, but when they're constantly showing up on social media and being attacked, they don't have time to try and have a intelligent discussion and share information. And I think that there are parts of the government and the aerospace industry and whomever, and the entertainment section that don't want actual disclosure to come forward. They're hindering the cause, people. They're taking disclosure away from you. If you want disclosure to move forward as a community, we have to reject that kind of behavior. And I'm not saying attack them. I'm saying ignore them. Block and move forward. Be defensive. Try not to engage with them. If they're going to be negative towards you, just block them. That's the best advice I've got. I'm trying to take that advice myself. If they don't have anything intelligent to offer the conversation, I go and look at their Twitter feeds and stuff like that. If they're not actually trying to have an actual debate or offer any intelligent discourse to this topic, I block them. They're there to obfuscate. Some people like Twitter for a good brawl. That's not why we're there. And they need to delineate between who's being authentic in the community and social media and who's not. If they want to be entertainment for entertainment purposes, then put yourself down as that. Don't put yourself out there as wanting to be an academic or a journalist, but you're constantly picking your battles of who you want to attack and who you want to take up for because you got a crush on somebody. It's just stupid. And then they get so many followers, then they become demigods on Twitter, and they think that they can say anything they want, and it's the gospel. That's just not the way it works. So, Joe's another one that it's kind of gone a little bitter lately, going after Richard and things because he's got a crush, is what it seems, and he's lost friends over it. It looks like, and compatriots, but we need to discourage attacking the people that have the actual freaking information. You know,
Yep.
if we're not part of the solution, we're part of the problem. And I'm not saying
Yep.
attack these people or be proactive or aggressive at all. I'm not. I'm saying
Yep.
be passive, reactive, block them, and move forward. Don't engage with somebody. I've watched Lou do this for a while now. If he doesn't have anything good to say about somebody, he just doesn't say it. So I am following that lead of trying to keep my mouth shut, which is hard. Control my temper. If it's not going to be a positive interaction, or it can't be a debate that I feel like they're actually going to listen to facts on both sides of that, then I don't engage. I'm going to back out. Once I realize they're not teachable and won't listen to facts, I will no longer engage them. I'll at least just not answer. If they're being really rude, I'll block them. But I mean, we've got Christopher Mellon, Gary Nolan on Twitter actively willing to engage people with their time that is so valuable in this research project. If they're having to spend all their time defending themselves against unwarranted attacks, then they can't share anything with the rest of the community. When we have legitimate questions that we want to get answered, they're too busy blocking shots from Green Street and crap. It's ridiculous. The law of extinction, and this is something I've adhered to for a long time. You ignore what you reject, and eventually it'll go away. Don't respond to it. Don't reply to it. Just ignore it. If you have to, block it and just keep moving forward. Take the high road. So, and I'm taking my own advice. I'm not, I'll say it again. I am not perfect. I'm far from perfect. And I know I've got a temper, and I'm a grumpy old man. What can I say? But I'm trying to do the right thing because I believe in the American people, and that this subject is too important to be worried about myself in this game. It is not me that is important. It's the content. It's disclosure, finding out, what other intelligences are on this planet that are sentient and above us that we have been veiled from for so long. We need to know. And given, we're on the precipice of nuclear annihilation because, humans are being idiots. If we don't figure this out, we're not going to survive as a species, and, for all intents and purposes. And I think Gary Nolan even touched on this. I'm hearing this a lot lately, actually, that the common thread is that their incursions and frequency are picking up, especially around nuclear products, civilian and military, but especially military. So they're telegraphing intent. They are communicating. We're not listening because as a whole of a civilization, we have not acknowledged that this is even real yet, that it's not human, because by design, the government has been suppressing it. We need to have this conversation as the whole of a species, and we've got to stop engaging people that are distracting from that process and keep moving this ball forward with facts. If they want to have an honest conversation, then let's do that. If they want to argue and, but pissing contests or gunfights, take it somewhere else. If they want to be entertainment, fine, be entertainment. Go, knock yourself out on Gaia, but don't try and sell it as facts or attack the people that are bringing the facts. They've got to be separated.
Hold on, Rob. We have 50 people in the room live. I think that's a record. So thanks everybody for being here and joining us this evening. Rob, I want to add on to your statement by saying that in one of our previous broadcasts, I brought up that wherever the truth takes us, we'll go there. We're not bound by anything. We just want to figure it out, just like everybody else. We have no agenda, and to whatever end.
Well, it's not a nefarious agenda. We have an agenda. It's helping advance actual disclosure. Right. And I do appreciate
we're just trying to bring the truth out.
Yeah. Invisible trackers telling me not to stare at the beam. I can't see well, so it blurs my vision trying to read the chat. So I'm looking aside while I'm thinking because it's making me dizzy. It's progressive, and I'm losing my ability to see details. So not cool.
Yep.
But
Raz will answer your question tomorrow, because today we can't get off subject much, because ladies and gentlemen, with 53 people now with us live, I'm about to present my case. And the case I'm referring to is the 2009 Turkey UFO has just been spotted in daylight. And that's the case I want to present to you as today's grand jury. So please take your seat. And now I'll go ahead and start with the opening. That was my opening argument earlier, and I'm just going ahead and present the case to you now. At the end of the presentation, I need you guys to leave a comment in the section below why or why not the case I'm about to present to you, I'm able to prove the fact that what I'm going to show you is the Turkey UFO taken in daylight in modern, and not in 2009. It's been recent. I don't have a date. I have a location. Okay, so let me start it off there. Okay, here we go, folks. Let me bring up picture here. So back in 2009, and I'm just assuming everybody knows what the 2009 Turkey UFO. If not, that's okay. I'm about to tell you all about it. In 2009, there was a UFO. This is a still frame of it. It was taken apparently on the 13th of May of 2009 at 2:19 a.m. by some Turkey guy off the coast of Turkey. Would that be true? Would that be a true and accurate statement, Rob?
Mm-hmm. It was there 3 years in a row.
And we've had several people come out and say, yeah, this shit's for real, right? We've had people trying to give this some.
They've had governments that were besides Turkey. Turkey had other governments even look into that to see if it was somehow created, if it was an illusion. You know, a lot of people are trying to say it was a cruise ship. They've had actual governments. Turkey wanted input on it as well. They couldn't discredit it as not an actual recording, and they ruled out that it was a reflection of a cruise ship or something. They don't have an explanation for it, but that it wasn't manufactured. It was raw, genuine data.
Right. In fact, I remember some YouTuber when I first got into the subject matter. He was actually he actually brought up Google Earth, and he actually pointed out where the guy was standing, and then he was saying where the direction he was looking at is actually some windmills, and this is some lighting in the area, so the lighting on the ground around the windmill, and he made a case for it. And it's like, and I never seen the video before, and I saw what he said, and I went, sure, you know, I'll go ahead, I'll bite and kind of, that sounds legit, or give some type of explanation on what this may be. He's fine. I let it go, right? And now here we are today. And if people have been watching this channel, they know that I actually enhanced one of these. You see those heads right there in the middle? This is like a window. What is it? A convertible, right? Is that what we determined? It's a convertible
model
craft, folks.
Yeah, they're buzzing around the sport model.
That or
they got the top down on Daddy's car.
It was a nice night. Hey, let's go out there. And then you had an aft lookout. Well, if you've seen our previous broadcast, if not, go back and watch it. I did some screenshots.
Galactic. I think they had a screenshots. The guy in the back seat was watching for the Galactic Police because I think they were driving drunk and didn't want to get pulled over. So they had a lookout. Yeah, that's probably Leroy. But anyways, I did screenshots. I think I did 23 of them. Out of every 23, all 23 images, I can clearly see two eyes, heads. Some of the images had, obviously, like this one here, you can see two heads there, right? And then what happened, Rob got a high resolution video of it. So I was able to go in and take a screenshot of the high resolution video. And then I put it through Lightroom, and then I put it through Photoshop, and I was able to enhance. And long story short, if
You guys would like to see an occupant? This is what an occupant, I believe, looks like. And just let you know, what you're about to see is just enhanced. There were some areas that were light I made dark, and some dark areas that I made light through my interpretation of what I'm seeing. Okay, so here's the image. Bam. That's pretty much on the mark, isn't it? Rob?
Yeah, that's the one you sent me.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a spooky looking picture, dude. That one gives me the creeps.
Right. One of those images, there was 3 occupants. You had 2 in the front. You had 1 kind of in the back. I don't know if his job was actually half lookout. Well, anyway, all right, take a look at this craft, folks. And then what I'm going to do now, I'm going to be talking about some of the characteristics of this craft that maybe you've never noticed before. And it'll all come together at the end of my presentation, folks. One of the identificational marks, I would say, would be the bottom. This bottom area, right where the date and the indication, whether AM or PM, the time and the date, right there in the middle. I've always wondered what that was, right? So just remember like a bottom platform. Let's call it bottom platform, identified as a bottom platform. Another area I'd like to bring to your attention is the angle of the like wings. It looks like wings, right? Or the angle at the top of the craft, how they put the slant in that direction. Also, I would like you to notice that there is these areas right here. I'm getting that.
You're sounding a little
tinny. In the middle. Okay. Let me know if it gets too bad. Now,
yeah, it's not good.
Then. Okay, stand by, folks.
Yeah, and Raz, you said about the distance. From everything I know of ancient history, they've been here a lot longer than humans. And when he gets back, I want to talk about, when we get done with this, I want to talk about the James Fox movie he's putting together.
Yep.
3-toed. I was remembering this today. There are the Cartwrights. Some of them have been proven to be 3 million to 25 million years old, and that is verifiable fact because the earthquake, there are proven dates of the earthquakes that broke up the paths of those tracks, that rearranged them so that they can prove that the tracks were made before the earthquake took place. And some of those go back at least 3 million years. But the kicker was that there were 3-toed reptilian tracks that they thought were dinosaurs that were walking through them. But these beings that were found in South America that Fox is doing the video on, they've got 3 toes, and that looked a lot like the tracks that I remember seeing in the Cartwrights. So I'm going to go back and find that and bring it forward.
All right, let's go forward, folks. Are you hearing me better, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. All right, so I'm almost done pointing out all the characteristics of this craft. Maybe 1 more or 2 more. So this area here that I'm pointing out, and I'm going to remove it by doing this. So just look at those areas. This is the angle and the length of the windows. Let's call it the window frame. Okay, so here's the window frame. And then the last area I want to bring up is what I call the base of the bottom of the craft that cannot be seen. And this is just this area here. There has to be something there in order for the top to be on the bottom, but I'm bringing up this rectangle. Yeah, this rectangle.
Easy.
Order. Yeah. I'm going to bring up this rectangle in order to prove my case to you folks. All right. You want to see some good stuff, folks? I'm about to show it to you. All right. So what I'm going to show next is a video of the craft, and it's going to morph into this craft. So one of the things I like doing is making, let's like a picture that I took, let's say 50 years ago at Disney. I actually went back to Disney and had my wife take a picture of me in the same spot, and you can, morph it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So anyways, here we go. Here is the video that I want to share with you. Stand by. Of course, I got to bring up some video. The video is right here. All right. Here it is, folks. All right, folks. So here's the picture. I know you. If you guys need to go change yourselves, go ahead and change yourselves. I think I made a pretty good case so far, but yet I'm going to go further and tell you my analysis on why I believe.
Let me ask you something. What you just showed, is that an entirely separate video from the Turkey videos? So, because this timestamp is 2009. Is this a different 2009 event?
Yep. No, this is supposedly recently in South America. Where did I tell you? It was in Colombia or something?
Yeah, because there's a timestamp down at the bottom that says 2009. Right.
What you see is the Turkey was in 2009.
Right.
I'm gonna play that video again. How about that?
Okay.
So
you put the Turkey one at the last of it, is what you did? Where we can see it morph into the same shape. Okay, I'm following you now.
This picture is actually video of the back of and I believe it to be one of those mirrorless quick shoot cameras, like the one I just ordered. But I don't think it's the Nikon P1000. It's something a lot cheaper because I don't even see a flash on top of that sucker. But I think it's a Nikon because of the operating system, whereas TV on the top right. So, well, anyway, I got a Nikon coming here this week, and I can demonstrate. This is actually a still frame from a video of a back of one of those Nikon cameras. So, and I kind of zoomed in to try to match it up with the Turkey one. So here's the picture of the Turkey one of in the daytime, and here's the picture of this craft. Now I want to go ahead and bring some more. Remember all the characteristics of the Turkey UFO craft here? Well, this is the craft here, and I'm going to go ahead and go over the same characteristics, folks. There's the base I talked about. There's the triangle, rectangle I talked about.
Something.
There's the top angles, right? Let's see if I got the other one. Yeah, well, remember, I don't have it on here. Apparently I didn't upload it, but it has those things on it, right? Yeah, there. It's there as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to play the video one more time. And at the end of my presentation, I want you to go into the chat or the comment section, and I need you to render your decision as my today's grand jury. So I know you cannot go, if you're summoned to a jury pool, do not invoke this channel saying you've done your civic duties. So no, this is just for entertainment purposes. It's only. Oh, okay.
True Searchers is saying that it's a Reddit CGI. Are you talking about the newer one? Because the Turkish video, they authenticated that it was legitimate video taken when it was taken. They had other governments even and private agencies both look into it and authenticated that it wasn't spoofed. So that much we know.
Right. All right. Last time, folks. That's pretty doggone good. What do you think, Rob? Did I hit the nail on the head, or am I far? Where am I? Let's say 0 to 100%. Where am I? About 90%.
I think you nailed it. Now, what we need to do, like truth searchers saying that it may have been something that somebody created after the fact, maybe after the turkey, even from that turkey video, we can go and pursue this to see how far we can verify the next one, this additional one, and track that down. And I think I saw one over Vegas, a video that I commented on Twitter last night. Somebody had posted. It looked like the one that James Fox had in his video from Brazil. So that one really lit up.
Did you want to talk about that tonight, or you want to talk about that another time? Because I tell you what, that freaking interview was freaking awesome. Oh, man, Chasing Unicorn. We got another 2.0. Chasing Unicorns 2.0 coming up, man. I got chill bumps, Rob. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, we can talk about it until Hell Freeze is over. It's fine with me. There's a lot of content there. But
yeah.
One of the things that struck me about that while I was listening to it, with all these years that I've been in alternative ancient history research and ancient religions, myths, theologies, you name it, all the cave paintings, petroglyphs, the works, the evidence that is overwhelming that there are different species of hominids on the planet, like in Skara Brae in northern Scotland, they're also in Sardinia, in the Azores, even the mines in Russia where they talk about they have the Snow White and Seven Dwarfs. Well, that originated because there are mines all over the place, and tunnel systems that are only like 2-3 feet maximum height. And Skara Brae and all those little communities, their maximum height was like 3 feet or 30 inches, somewhere in there. When I first started into ancient history research a few years ago, there were multiple websites, mainstream websites on Skara Brae that gave the height of doorways, the length of the beds, and they were all under 3 feet tolerance. They've gone since and removed all those measurements from their sites. They don't have the height, and they don't indicate anymore that little people live there. You have to crawl on your hands and knees as an adult to tour those places. So, and then the Pedro guy, that little mummified guy in the lotus position up around Wyoming that was found in the 60s in an ancient Indian cave, that's fact. And Louis even said in one of his interviews recently that archaeological evidence is showing that they're finding all the artifacts of where they lived, even that they are true species, that they have their little tools and all the little secondary stuff like Skara Brae would exhibit. They didn't find the skeletons, but the point I'm making is there is something to the cryptids and the little people and possibly Bigfoot, the giants and things. Those are real flesh and blood species that live on the planet. Gary Nolan also talked about there being like the Greys are more of a biological android that's not an organic civilization. They may represent one that we don't know what is at the end of that, behind the curtain of them. But the distinction I'm drawing is that there are real civilizations of other species living on this planet. And James Fox in Brazil, what he was talking about, them running through the town, these craft and their abductions and everything, all of them seem to know exactly what they're doing, trying to convey a thought process, and steer a narrative. But these beings that were loose and running around the town scared, I don't see that as trying to portray a false narrative. That seemed to me a legitimate species that crashed, that was legitimately in distress. It was so out of character with any other event of contact that I've seen that made it remarkable that these were actual species that were in legitimate concern. Kind of like Trinity in 1945 that Jacques Vallée wrote the book about, that crashed prior to Roswell in that same area. So they were in this, and likely the ones at Roswell. So I think there's different. We know that there are different type of phenomena going on here from ancient history that it's very reasonable to assume there are multitudes probably that we have been veiled from. And some of them are putting on a show for us and trying to steer a narrative. Some are just trying to survive. And I think, we can recognize the difference when it's that organic and not, it's not pre-scripted, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And to me, that's a legitimate distinction that can be drawn, because Jacques Vallée's books that I read, the little people and stuff lived alongside, the Europeans and all them up until about 1900. That and with Native Americans even, they even had wars that they still talk about with those little guys. They're like 18 inches tall and super strong, and were cannibals, some of them, and really violent little critters. They were real little, communities and races, but as we got more advanced, they digressed and just kind of went away. And that's where the Chains of the Sea, the short story that Lou brought up a while back, part of the component of that story is that there were other species living on this planet with us that decided to hide from us because we were getting too dominant and not taking their rights into consideration. So they digressed away from us and hid, underground, where I dare say they probably still live. They didn't get destroyed. There's no legends, rumors, or myths or whatever in modern times of stacking bodies of these little people. So they went underground, literally. So, we're a violent species, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, let me do some housekeeping here real quick, folks, and give me 1 second. I gotta hit record on something. I don't want to miss something else. Hey, that one thing I told you I was recording? I just started, so. So anyways, holy smokes, folks, when it comes to James Fox, that man, he's the magic man. If he can make what he's been claiming he's kind of been come across.
Yeah, wow. And if we find out that
wow. Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, if we find, we're going to investigate the second video, and if it does show, it turn out to be not authentic, we'll retract. That's not a problem.
I don't have all my eggs in one basket. All I'm saying is, if this was a court case, and for some reason, in order for us to render judgment on the individual, is if the car, let's say a car was, there was a nighttime photo of a car, and the same car that looked just like it was taken during the day. Is this the same car, folks? Are we looking at the same thing? I mean, I don't know if the freaking Turkey UFO was real. All I'm saying is, like, when I saw that video on one of the other YouTube channels talking about that they saw it on Reddit, I look at it, and I, being a former investigator, I'm looking at this thing and going, hey, that looks just like the 2009 Turkey UFO.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. So I haven't seen any negative responses. So there you go, folks. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
And we are going by the evidence that we have at our current disposal. And if the evidence changes, then we will modify as we go. And that's just the way that we should be doing this. And if we make a mistake, obviously we'll admit to it. Yeah. Based on what we know, if something changes, then we'll correct it.
We're just trying to put the information out.
Yeah. And bring authentic discussion to it, because even if we don't, I do think that there's going to be a lot more information out of the government this next year. I do understand that Congress is wanting to get more out to the people, that they deserve answers. Yep. Politicians like to stay in office, and whatever's popular with the people, then it's popular with them. We've got to be authentic in showing that this is a topic that we want them to take seriously, and that we are people that deserve to be told the truth. You know, we've got to warrant it. We got to rate it. You know, shame on them for the 75 years of lying. But you got to remember, Congress didn't anymore know that UFOs, you know, that there was a non-human presence on this planet aside from us. In modern times, even Bill Clinton was lied to about when he asked about Roswell. So, you know, there's still people probably in office. I'm not gonna go there. Last time I did, my computer got fried. But
Yeah, there's certain
yeah.
keywords we don't use on the show anymore, and we haven't even discussed that. It's just common sense that we don't. There's certain USAF words we don't say because I get kicked off. I said it.
You're getting tinny again. But, yeah, say DOE and you'll go blank, man. That's fine. You're breaking up. You're breaking up. Congress is not happy they were lied to. There's a lot of money behind this. That these aerospace industries, these dark silos, they've gotten filthy rich off of it, filthy powerful, and they don't want a redistribution of wealth and power. That's unfortunate because they're not being team players and remembering the oath that they took. The people that are in uniform and working in the intelligence community, shame on them. And the people they contracted out to, you know, as being good stewards in good faith of that oath and serving the American people, because at the end of the day, we still have this little thing called a Constitution. So they work for us. They need reminded of that. And politicians are pissed in Congress. They are not happy they were lied to, and they didn't like being lied to at this last hearing and how they made a mockery of it. So they're not, I dare say, I have a prediction. The next time those guys get up in front of Congress, they are going to be a little bit more humbled and a little bit more factual.
It's going to definitely be a lot better than the first one. We still need to cover that one as well.
That wasn't a bomb out. And a lot of people think that was a big dud. It wasn't. Like what you did with the case tonight on, you know, wanting to put together a grand jury. That's exactly what Congress, how they approach this, that committee. But it's also the way that the DOD approached it. You know, as the prosecution and defense, they came out with their most over-the-top defense and offense as an established position to start with, and then the negotiations start. But everything that they brought forward in Congress, every question that they brought up for discussion, they weren't just flippantly something that they checked YouTube 10 minutes prior and, oh, that's a good question, I'll throw that one out there. They did their homework, folks. They methodically put this together with details that they knew would get the ball as forward as they want it to go with the best cases to advance. So the Wilson documents, if they didn't already know they were authentic, they wouldn't have brought them up. If they wouldn't have brought Maelstrom if they didn't already know the answer to the question they were asking. Now they can say that he said that he didn't want to go off of, I think, something like hearsay or gossip or whatever. They reminded him that the author of that report and information was the U.S. military. It's documented. It's in FOIAs. They have documented themselves. Him saying that he wasn't officially briefed, there is no record in his office where it says that somebody walked in there with the evidence and showed him and gave him an official briefing on it. So he has deniable plausibility to say, no, officially, I don't know about that incident. And he wasn't lying. But he intentionally didn't educate himself on the topic because he knew if he knew he was going to be called into Congress to testify, he's going to tell his staff, don't brief me on anything. I don't want to know anything before this hearing. You can tell me afterwards because I don't want to perjure myself, to Congress. So they were playing it smart, but their hubris and they made a mockery. They tried to make a mockery of the congressman and the panel. But I dare say they probably got their feet held to the fire after that.
Right.
A little bit. And the truth is going to come out. It's just a matter of how soon. And like I said, the Congress is not going to hide it all, and it's not going to go all dark again. You know, we're not pushing for disclosure to get Congress to investigate it, open up these permanent offices, and then for them not to issue anything back out to the public. That would not get them reelected. That would not be popular. They're going to do what's popular and keep them in their seats. Power first with government. And I'm not saying that some of them aren't in it authentically. They are. They just can't do anything if they don't have the receipts to do it with. So they have to be mindful of what keeps them in power to do the work they're trying to do for the American people. So I do believe that we're going to be given information that is going to be definitive and put this to rest for the reasonable minded person. I dare say that within a year, that's going to be a settled discussion to where, you know, and for me, like Lou said, disclosure's already happened. You know, they have established a permanent office that is going to investigate non-human UAP type craft. That right there acknowledges that they already understand and know that there are some craft that are intelligently constructed, but not by humans. So as soon as they establish that a case was human made, it gets handed off. Just like with Havana syndrome, if they recognize that it was terrestrial origins or adversarial, it gets handed off to another department. It becomes a national defense issue. But the ones that are authentic of contact with true UAPs of non-human intelligences, you know, I'm going to call them ultra-terrestrials, those stay in their research groups to study. So they wouldn't do that if they didn't already know that there's something significant there. And they are concerned with why they are frequenting our restricted airspace and why they're increasingly in our restricted airspace. They're there. If I remember correctly, they're persistently there anymore, and not just the United States. Any military that's reporting it, I dare say that they're being shadowed. I mean, they're just really. It's like saying, you know, if these were conventional ground troops, it's like we saw them staging against Ukraine. They kept saying, "Oh, they're not going to invade. They're not going to invade." They've been doing this for years. People were still going to the mall. Our intelligence groups were telling them, "Hey, they're going to invade any day," and they told them basically, and they did. They got upset about it and told them, "Shut up! Stop telling us this. They're not going to do anything." And then they did. So they were caught with their hands, you know, they were caught with their flip flops on at the mall when they should have been filling up sandbags and, you know, filling up their magazines. But
Rob, I just had the most brilliant idea. Hold on, that calls for something here. It's all about timing, folks. And I need to bring this up. Great idea. What I'm going to do on another show is be the defense on that video. I'm going to tell you why I think it's not, or I'm going to try to. I'm going to try to protect my client. I'm actually getting a Nikon P1000 in this week, a brand spanking new one. I'm sorry I got rid of the last one, but I'm going to recreate that video. But it's going to be different, and I'm going to put it on Reddit, and I want to see if it was viral, and we'll bring a follow-up story on this. Let's get back to the Chasing Unicorns 2.0, folks, and James Fox. We talked about some of the things that James Fox has said in the past. He told the story several times about there was this video that he has seen that shows the best UFO ever. And there was these two guys who were in this car. They're going on a trip through the desert. They stopped that little alien in and just doing what young guys do. They had a video recorder with them. And this is before cell phones. I guess it's 20 years ago. Well, anyways, what happened was they had an experience with a UFO, and the media, the data, just slipped right through James Fox's fingers. He felt, hindsight's always 20/20, right? He wished he just took the tape out of his hands and ran out the door. He didn't do it. Later, he checked up on this dude and about getting the guys who made the tape, and they gave the copy of the tape to this dude. And the guy's like, "Hey, stop talking about this subject with me, or I'm not going to talk to you no more." And so, of course, he's a film director, and he wants this media at any cost. And the guy said, "Look, long story short, someone told him, I think George Knapp, someone, hey, he had the feds come in, and everything's gone. The tape is gone, of course." And that's why I called that chasing unicorns. You're going after like the holy grail of these things, and they just slip through your fingers. And it seems like this story has happened time and time again. However, sometimes you get lucky and you do catch a unicorn, just like that picture that came out of Scotland of that UFO. Did you ever get your picture, buddy, Rob?
Yes, I did. It's
Oh,
amazing.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I got that high resolution picture that was, do you have it on hand?
Oh, it's clear across the house in a small place.
Don't worry about it. Stand by. I think I have it right here. I gotta see if my IV will allow me to get it.
Yeah, and get the oxygen, not the helium, dude.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Stay off the nitrous until after the stream.
I know, right? Okay, if you haven't
Yep.
seen it, folks, this is the picture I'm referring to, and I cannot wait to frame it. Bam. Hey, here's a glare. Okay. Y'all seen this picture. If y'all followed this, if you follow the phenomenon, you know this picture was just released. Nick Pope talked about it for years. Nick Pope had a graphic designer render the image that he remembered of the craft with a Harrier in the background and stuff. I've seen the fake picture many times, but this was the unicorn that got away. Well, guess what? We got it. So I was saying in the previous show, maybe in the future, we'll catch some more unicorns, right? Okay, folks.
Mm-hmm.
I got chill bumps what I'm about to tell you. Rob sent me a link of James Fox, and I should have it to share it with you guys, but I don't. If you would, Rob, see if you can find it and put it in the chat, please. Rob sent me a link of director James Fox being interviewed by somebody, another interviewer. I see interviews all day. I don't remember the names, but it was a good interview. And it was a long interview. And he talked about the story for the third time. However, there's a little liner of what can I say, Rob? Some good news, a little sliver of possibly good news out of something that would never, see the light of day. There was a private investigator that contacted James Fox, got the information, found this dude. He got screenshots. Didn't you, Rob?
Yeah, and he sent him. He said he had the original interviews and all that the guy did. He had digitized his recordings for him, and then the guy died, and he still got the data. So have to wait for the movie to come out to find out what all he has. He also brought up the video. What was it? I can't remember the name. Maybe you guys can help me out. It was Marvin and Wilson, something like that, where the two guys are in Vegas and they went out to Roswell, and then it shows it inside the car, and then the car lights up like a supernova and screaming, and then it goes away, and he's trying to find a copy of it again. James Fox he was showed it on a VHS, and the guy wouldn't let him have it, and then the guy says that he doesn't have it anymore. So James Fox followed up and found out that that guy had been raided by the FBI. So of course he doesn't have it anymore. But if I can remember, I will go back and find out the name of the guy that had the video and see if I can't see if it's left anywhere on the internet, on the dark side or the good side of the internet. If it's there, I'll find it.
Yep. Now, when it comes to the Philadelphia experiment, I know the story, but I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't seen anything that tells me that it's true. I would like to, because it's a cool story. Good movie. Do you guys see any weird stuff in the military? No, I don't. I did 20 years Navy, and Rob was a Marine. Sorry, was. Shame on me. He is a Marine. And the thing is, Rob and I are not experiencers. We haven't witnessed nothing. Now, I heard some secondhand information, and that secondhand information is why I'm here today. But that's another story.
The Philadelphia experiment, from what I read about it, I'm kind of conflicted because, you know, like I said at the beginning of this, the government has intentionally muddied the waters on any credible evidence. And of course, if there were a military experiment, they would come out in the media and make it. And they were actually partly responsible for the creation of the National Enquirer magazine. You know, big shocker. So if there was validity to the Philadelphia experiment, they put out, there's so much information out there now that it's kind of 50-50. But you can't, there is no verifiable FOIA on it to legitimize it with the government. But I know the physicist, well, not personally, J. Townsend Brown was the understudy of Tesla. Brilliant guy. The story goes that he was the head scientist on it. They were trying to come up with a cloaking ability to put a cloud around the ship to make it disappear. And that when he found out what they were trying to do, and when he ran the numbers on it, he realized that it was going to be it was going to be a disaster, and it was too dangerous. And he backed out, and they put another scientist on the project. And when they distorted it, when they did the experiment, it went enveloped into a fog. When it came back, people were infused into the decks and had merged. That physics isn't impossible. And he had like 9 diaries that when he died, the government confiscated them. They gave back 8, and it took over a decade for his daughter to get the 9th one back. And I think I found a copy of the 9th one a few years back. The guy was brilliant. Whether it truly happened or not, who's to say? But it could happen, because if you tried to use that technology and like neutrinos pass through things without even interacting with it, if they were able to superconduct in theory, and I can't explain the physics, I'm not even going to try, they can pass through solid materials like it's not even there. So it's perfectly reasonable to think that technology, if it weren't used accurately, they'll partially pass through the energy that they're using to try and, you know, follow through with it and successful. They get a power glitch, and then they have 2 different masses stuck within each other and reconstitute into their different forms, and then they're welded together. And that's the story of it. But if it's true or not, who knows? That's why, like I said in the beginning, we want to start off clean with fresh investigative incidents. And it would be nice if the government or military, either one or both, would start rolling out some actual data that we could start researching with that is accurate. So if it would behoove them to put it out there at some point, we would deeply appreciate it. But we got to show that we'll be responsible enough to do something with it besides beat each other in the head. You know, build it into a magazine and then start having a swatting contest. It's just, you know, we got to prove we're going to be responsible enough to warrant it. So
yeah, yep. So definitely stay tuned for our
Eldridge.
next show. We're going Eldridge. That's right. That was the name of the show. I should have known that. So we're going to be talking about James Fox more than likely, and all the upcoming on the upcoming video here on the next broadcast. And holy smokes, we had the most amount of people. We're down to 30 people, and that's because people have to like actually go to sleep and go to work the next day. which I'm about to do. I've got a bunch of medical appointments. So
What
if you
does
would,
it feel? Sorry. Raz is asking, what does it feel like to fuse with a deck? Well, I've been stabbed with different objects. I would dare say it felt like that. It hurts pretty freaking bad. Not a good day. So no, I wouldn't advocate trying to fuse with another solid object. Basically, at this low level of energy, you're just gonna hit the wall with it and go splat and to not merge with it. So no, I don't want to be pancaked against the wall of something else trying to run through it. So no, not me.
So if you guys really did enjoy today's show and you'd like to visit us again, please hit that like and subscribe and that notification for our upcoming video, and we'd really appreciate it. It's we have a 100% money back guarantee, and all the proceeds. Here you go. By the way, we are getting even closer here, folks. We're going to have an official countdown. We got like 140 more subscribers until we can monetize this channel. And once we monetize it, 100% of the proceeds go to the our charity, my charity, Rob's charity, and Lou Elizondo's charity. It's right now it's still in the planning phases, and we just cannot wait to really kick it off with the all-star lineup. Man, I can't believe this is happening. This is so freaking cool, dude. So stay tuned for more information of that. And what we're also going to do, if you guys are Amazon, if you buy stuff from Amazon, like my wife and I do here all day long, we got boxes just piled up for the recycling guy. We're always getting stuff. Well, we're going to have a link in the future where you can, when you order, a small proceed of your order will go toward the charity. Now, that's how you can also support this channel. This is going to be awesome. It's just going to blow my mind what it's going to do, so also next year, I'm trying to get better, folks. I know Rob's trying to get better, and I'm trying to plan something we can go, health-wise. I don't think we can change them mentally, but when we're going to try to go and do an event or something. So stay tuned to the UFO Man channel, because Tom Reed, yes, that Tom Reed from the Berkshire UFO incident, I'm sure he's going to be telling you guys about upcoming events going on at certain locations at certain times and days, and you might just see us there. Maybe we might be speakers one day. We might sit at the big boy table, because we've been sitting around this kids table for a while now, for like 3 or 4 months now, but maybe we'll be invited to the adult table. And we can just look at ourselves in the mirror and see how big our heads actually sit on these shoulders of ours. So someone said something interesting about Leroy watching, and Leroy is on the internet or something. That brought up a good point, or something that I don't know if I talked to Rob offline or in front of you guys, but I'll bring it up again. I told Rob that I kind of suspect they may have internet on these craft, because there are certain people that they're able to contact, like what's that young man, that Indian young man, that genius?
Prasad?
Yeah, that dude. You think they just knew where he was? I think they probably been following him for a while, right? Now, how are you going to do that? It'd just be easier if they just tapped into our internet, kind of like Transformers. They learn how to, there was an alien species that came. Yes, they were all AI and stuff, but they basically learned from the World Wide Web. And maybe that's how they do it. They kind of learn what we're up to.
there's
including who the smart people.
A well-respected academic in this community that has told me that we're basically under persistent occupation, that even every person is being surveilled. They even know us down to the granular level. So they know everything we do is what his theology was. And he got his information from other researchers and academics to where they highly suspect that there are even persistent surveillance of softball-sized crafts that can pass through walls that are invisible, that would basically follow at least some people around. Sounds outrageous, but so does the possibility of a non-human intelligence buzzing around our skies. We thought that was crazy too. So why wouldn't why, if they are that advanced and that determined on gathering information, once you start researching something, where do you stop researching it? If you have the capacity to surveil something or somebody, do you ever say, well, that's good enough, I'm not going to look further, I'm not going to enhance my equipment? No, you keep escalating, because you don't know where to cut that off, or you don't want to. You want to know everything, and they're so advanced, right? They're going to compile all this data. So yeah, they're persistently monitoring the internet and all the transmissions. Just like the U.S.
It makes sense.
The US government can do it. Why wouldn't they do it? They record all of our phone calls, all of our transmissions, all of our shows. It all gets put onto recordings in these giant databases. So if humans are doing it, why the hell wouldn't they do it? It's just remedial to understand that they're monitoring everything and they know what everybody's up to. Because if you know all the players, and if you're able to get in their head, know what they're thinking, you know how to predict the future of what's going to happen and who reacts how. They would know and be able to predict, when wars would pop off and who's going to pick what side and do what, because they've already monitored them. They know. So that's just smart recon to do things like that. So Prasad, they knew that he's a young physicist, that this was not on his radar whatsoever. After his visitation, then he's high beamed on, laser focused on the phenomena. So if they were wanting to boost awareness with the generations, they picked the perfect guy to do it, because he's in line, they say, to be the next Einstein. So with him on the UAP topic, holy cow, it's just going to be like a flamethrower.
Yeah.
So
well, obviously they're not too smart, because they did the phenomenon, Leroy, they didn't see me coming. They kind of wrote me off a long time ago compared to that dude.
Yeah, they're not that smart. They didn't even give us a visit.
Yeah, they didn't give me no visit.
Like I wrote in the chat earlier, I said that if they dared to cruise over the Ozarks, there'd be so many dents in the bottom of their cruiser from gunshots that it looked like they've been through a hailstorm upside down. They don't like that crap around here. All these people with 30-06s, and hell, they have helicopters that come over with the giant UV lights looking for pot farm out growing in the wilds here in the forest and things. There are rednecks out there, not me, that like to protect their crops, and they'll even fire at the helicopters and stuff to knock their lights out. So
let me go ahead and tell the folks here. Let me tell the folks here, if you just happen to have a crop of what's that stuff on South Park, Integrity Farm. If you have an Integrity Farms, just let you know that these aircraft that go out looking for this, they're not really looking for the plants. They're looking for the light, the signature light links coming off the leaves, because that's the telltale sign. Just to let you know, they're looking at the light that's in a computer. It's kind of like the James Webb Telescope. They can tell what kind of planet it is by the signature of infrared of the
that reflects off of it.
Yep, that's how they know. They're not going, hey, that looks like a green. Could that green plant be marijuana? No, they know exactly what it is.
It lights up bright. And another thing with like the Amazon delivery systems with the drones that would fly the package to your house, where I live, it's so far rural. It hasn't. I'm surprised that they have internet available here or even electricity, because very little has changed here since it was settled in 1840s. It was destroyed in the Civil War and rebuilt, but it's not going to change until the end of time here. There's nothing here local that any outsider is ever going to come in and invest in. Aliens don't want to come here. Feds don't want to come here. Even city slickers don't want to come here, because there's nothing here but death for you, folks. That's it. If you try to buy an Amazon package over the Ozarks, I can guarantee you it's gonna, if it makes it to the destination, it's gonna be full of holes, because they don't like those things flying over their land, and they don't know the rules that you can't shoot them down. If it's over their property, they're gonna take shots at it. It's just the way they react. It's in their blood.
Not saying it's right.
No, I'm not agreeing with it. I'm just saying that's the way it is. You fly, Amazon flies a box over their land, it's going to get shot down. So we'll never see that here.
Mm-hmm.
So
they never see their drone again.
That big ass bear that I saw out there, he'd rip it to shreds anyway. So be stupid. Yeah.
All right. I think let's close it up, and then we will hopefully see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to be going to some appointments at Mayo. I got to do if anybody's ever had one of those pulmonary function tests, I got to do that. And I got like 2 appointments here at the house on top of that. And so let me see. There it is. Okay.
Andrew wrote a book, and I started reading it. I liked it very much. I thought it was very good sci-fi imagination with it. I need to get back to read it again, because I was enjoying the book. I've been swamped with this project for this last year or 18 months now. So immersed. My schedule is just crazy with my health, limiting my time and ability. I really have to be selective on what I do, but that was one of the things I really finished, was reading your novel. So, if you post me put it out there on Twitter and tag me in it, that way you can get it out there, the name of it to people again, and a link to where they can find it. It's well worth buying. I enjoyed how it started. It was some good writing, man. You got something going there. We just need to publicize it.
Yeah. Oh, future things I'm going to do is also present to everyone some of the videos that I'm going to be providing are my own material, and it's going to show you why what we're looking at is not a UFO, because I get videos all the time, and it takes me like 2 seconds to. That's not a UAP or UFO. It's a holy smokes. It's a Airbus. I just got the app from Linda Thomas. Help me out here. Linda, what's your name in our chat? Or sometimes
Linda Thompson.
Yeah, she put up. I don't know if it was in my chat or somewhere. She posted the apps for, you can see if you see an airplane over there, you can take your phone and go, oh, that's flight number whatever, Delta Airlines, right? And then you look at the whole United States. It's amazing how many aircraft are up in the sky. I put that picture up on my Facebook, and I said, if anyone's scared about flying, look what all the traffic is right now. It's unbelievable how many aircraft take off and land without a single problem. All right, folks, please hit that subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and that notification and that like button. Put a comment down below so that the algorithms, that's the word I'm looking for, the algorithms will help promote this channel. We want to raise as much money possible for St. Francis Animal Shelter. It's a no-kill shelter in Buffalo, Wyoming. Rob's charity, Pen Up for Vets, and mine would be Wounded Warrior Project. Any last words, Rob?
So I was asking, what is the Reed dude's name? Gary Reed is the one that is going hard against Lou and them. But yeah, that was my last word.
Good night, folks. Good night. Is that good? Good night.
I'm good, man. Let's rock it. Good night, folks. Thanks for being here.
I'll take care, all right? Nothing but love for you. Nothing but love for you.
think they have any clue what's about to happen to him?
Oh, no chance in hell. Good night.